In this world, he's a green tech billionaire, so he doesn't really need money. And he's famous already, so he doesn't need fame. So it's not like he's like a Lex Luthor that's motivated by greed or anything else. I mean, for him, in his mind, what he thinks he's doing is good. You know, he's trying to protect humanity from any outside sources that could possibly turn on us. And he looks at people like Supergirl as a magnet for trouble. And if we didn't have her, you know, we could solve our own problems. And so, is he good in his world? In his mindset, he is. If you look at it from that perspective, he's looking at Supergirl as bad, you know. But he lives in a gray zone because I think part of him, you know, teams up with her at times to help when there's a bigger problem, you know. So I like that he lives in a gray zone. I think he'll always not want alien influence on our planet, you know, so I think he'll always be against the superheroes and supervillains. I mean, I think in the DC Comics he started Justice League, but I think he did that as a way to control them, you know. I think he teams up when he has to, when there's a bigger thing that he needs to defeat, you know. If he sees a bigger threat and he's able to team up with them to defeat that bigger threat, then yes. But I don't think he'll ever be 100% on board. Okay, now I'm you know, I think Supergirl's great. You know, I think there'll always be that wanting to rid the planet of all of the aliens and just basically have humanity, you know, take care of each other. It's kind of like a Barbie case. It's a collectible doll case. But yeah, that cell's kind of interesting because the sound quality is always bad, so I always have to redo my lines in something called ADR, which is additional recording, or they call it looping. You know, in those Chinese movies where you have to kind of redo your voice for the film, I have to, most of the time when I'm in that booth, because the sound quality is poor, I have to redo my lines in a sound booth after for post. So it gets a little tricky sometimes. Well, Greg Berlanti, who created the show, and the showrunners sat down with me, and I had a meeting with them, and they introduced me to Maxwell Lord and said, look, we want you to play this character, and I thought, wow, that's really cool, it's a really great character, and I went home and they gave me a stack of comic books to look at for homework, and so I signed up to do it. What was cool was Maxwell Lord's never been portrayed before in film or television, so I got to kind of create it specifically for this world.